Welcome to Throwback Thursday, where we look back at all of our favorite moments throughout the 6 years of GMB. We've talked about a lot of issues in education, distractions, jail, zero tolerance. We may do that a bit later on. We may. But the thing we focused on years ago, 6 years ago, was the very first show we focused in on running in the hallways. I talked about why it's not okay to run in the hallways because really, it's a safety issue. You run into someone, you could just go boom, break their backs. That's a safety issue going on. Take a look at this first clip.
Hey, I'm running in the holes.
And how about this next clip? And which is why you never run in the hallways, because you never know who you're going to be bumping into. But if you guys remember last season, when we did the outdoor show, we talked about Flashback Friday, I described to you a clip. Talking about what happened when someone got out of the girl's bathroom. Now, this was very disturbing to watch. Very disturbing to talk about. But I described it to you because I didn't have any outdoor crap equipment to show you or editing school. So take a look at this.
You must have a vagina.
And you see what I'm talking about here? I watched this several times. You see this guy right here, and you see that guy right here. These two people right here, they're smiling because they think it's funny. And that guy right there, he's all shocked. He's not smiling. He's like, he has a vagina? Watch.
Get him, get him, get him.
Everyone's like, what's going on here? starting everybody here. You probably get it now. If you didn't get it, I probably couldn't tell here, but I guess the lesson to be learned here is you never ever run in the hallways unless you're Superman, probably. Unless you're probably Superman, in which case, take a look at this one. Then we're gonna take a break.
See.
All right, now take a look.
Hey, I'm running the halls. Dude, no running in the halls. Dude, come on. No running in the halls.
Still ahead, the Super Bowl edition of Throwback Thursday. Then, pornography in our schools. A video that I'm going to show you. But first, more running in the halls. Stay with us. We're talking about running in the hallways. It's a safety issue that happens in all of our schools. The kids are like running away. You're like, oh my God, I gotta get to class. Hey, walk. When I was a kid, I was in school. I saw some people running. Teachers were like, hey, go back and walk. You go back and walk, you would run. Safety is the number one priority in our schools, and one of the most important safety issues ever that we've always talked about for 6 years is people running in the hallways, which is a very serious issue. If you saw somebody running in the hallways, you obviously would want to deal with it and say, hey, walk. Let's roll the clip.
Hey, no running in the hall.
Test me first. You're nowhere to run now. Now come with me to the principal's office.
Never.
And that's exactly why you never run in the hallways, period. Because of safety. And safety is one of the most important things to talk about. Now, who can remember our very first episode? It was the very first episode we talked about. We talked about playing PlayStation in public. Now, I have a story that goes along with this. I don't remember the exact year. I think it was probably 2018, 2019 before COVID. I decided to do something I would never, but most of the YouTubers would do. I would play PlayStation in public. So when it was a track meeting, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take my guitar and I'm going to take my TV and my PlayStation. I'm going to play PlayStation at a track meeting. And sure enough, everyone liked it. Packed the TV, packed the PlayStation, the cords. But these videos right here, like, people like, you play PlayStation in the car, you play PlayStation at McDonald's, you would play PlayStation in school, you would play PlayStation in Walmart, in school. The school thing is just worse. Here's a short from 1 year ago. Why you should never play video games.
Wait, bro, he's coming. Good book. Oh my gosh, that was so close. Wait, what? Are you kidding me?
Okay. One of the main reasons why you should never play video games in school. Or play video games everywhere. I mean, you're gonna get your crap stolen. Your TV, because this TV right here, you take a TV like this, it's gonna cost.
I'm so tired of it.
Sorry, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. You take your PlayStation, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. If they steal your stuff, they steal money. That's the whole key. Coming up next, these kids were arrested for viewing porn. And when I first talked about pornography in our schools earlier this year, I was stunned that they wouldn't get suspended. You get suspended for looking at porn, that's cool. But what if you were suspended and arrested? We'll be right back. Do y'all remember earlier this season, we focused in on pornography in our schools? It's a whole different issue here. One of the issues we tackled was kids getting arrested people getting arrested for looking at porn in school. Now, this clip that I talked about, I didn't show it to you because it's basically reactionary. You've seen my reactions. But now you're going to see for the very first time from the Young Turks. Take a look.
2 11-year-old boys were viewing porn on a school computer. They now face criminal charges.
All right, so here's how it breaks down. They're in 5th grade, right? It's in Utah.
It's in Utah.
The computers are set up in a way that they block all the sites.
Yeah, they have internet filters.
But the guys broke through. The kids are clever, and they typed in the word lesbian.
They typed in the word lesbian, and apparently images popped up. And what they did on several different occasions is they showed that lesbian image to their friends, right?
As any good friend would.
Right. And what ended up happening is one of their friends went and told their parents, another friend went and told the principal.
Yeah.
So these 2 boys get caught.
All right, so the principal says, I'm going to suspend you. I'm on board for that. Look, I don't mind, and this is the most, kid thing you've ever done in your life, right? But you're supposed to have consequences for doing kid things, right? And if the principal suspends you for looking at porn in the class, that makes perfect sense, right? But then they call the cops. And they're going to do a criminal complaint against these kids for showing porn to underage kids. But they're underage. They're 11. Do you know how many of my friends would have been arrested if we all got arrested for showing porn to one another when we were underage? Every single one of us.
Right.
Okay? They'd have been like, it's go time. Go, go, go. And they bust down the doors. And it turns out we're all showing porn to one another. You know why we did that? Because we were kids. And we were like, oh my God, that's what it looks like? All right? I mean, come on, arresting kids for that?
Right.
God, that is unbelievable. No, but the reason I get so angry at this, and this is the story that made me really angry today, it's because we've lost sense of touch with all common sense. Like, it's just flown out the window. I mean, kids can't be kids anymore. What are 11, 12, 13-year-old kids going to do? They're going to try to find porn. They're going to type in lesbian on a computer. And everybody's head explodes. And by the way, you know what happened when those kids looked at lesbians? Not a damn thing. What happened? They all of a sudden became perverts or something? Oh my God, I can't believe it. If my 11-year-old kid, and I know that's young, right? But if he's not trying to bust onto a computer to see lesbians, I'm going to have issues. I'm going to be like, come on, son. I mean, of course not, right? That's too young, la, 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 right? But that being said, on a serious note, if I caught him doing that, I'd be like, all right, son, your mom tells me that it's not the right way to go.
Your mom tells me.
Okay, and I can't have it. But I know I did the same thing when I was 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so, secretly I'd be thinking, way to figure it out, man. He broke the freaking code. By the way, how hard was it to break that code? The code? Type in lesbian, you get lesbians. It's a great firewall.
Right, great internet filter.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of the parents was like, the mother of one of these boys was like, well, how did my son even have the ability to access that on a school computer, right? And they're like, oh, all these porn sites, they're constantly changing their URLs, and they're being sneaky and finding ways to make it easy for people to find this porn, right? And it's like, it's so stupid. Like, okay, yeah, blame the porn sites. But whatever. Like you said, I don't think it's a big deal. Boys look up porn all the time. It's one thing to punish them and suspend them and, slap them on the wrist and talk to them about it. But it's another thing to send them to a juvenile detention center, which is what they're planning on doing.
And by the way, they're saying, and they'll get some counseling and something. What are you going to get counseling for? That your kid going through puberty and you're interested in sex, you're going to counsel them out of that?
Right.
What? Seriously, what the hell are you supposed to do in counseling?
I don't know.
All right, little Peter, I don't want you to think about your little Peter. Okay? You're having bad thoughts about lesbians, and we need to counsel you out of that. This country is we've become so, in some ways we go crazy, right? And there's sex flowing out of everywhere. In other ways, we're still so damn prudish, and we want to put these kids in a bubble and protect them from anything that is adult-like and make sure they never grow up. And it's crazy. I'm not in favor of the kids looking at porn, but I'm not going to send them to counseling or to the cops.
Right.
It's absolutely crazy.
But I will suspend them if that ever happens. Still ahead, a look back at zero tolerance in our schools from the Young Turks. That's still ahead. But come out next, it's the Super Bowl edition of Throwback Thursday.
Parents of the Michigan High School.
The Super Bowl edition of Throwback Thursday. With Super Bowl hits. The dirty hotels, sky-high prices from hotels, and even the most viral video. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, I unplugged the TV. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Super Bowl edition of Throwback Thursday. That's right, it's the Super Bowl edition. We look at some great stories. Two greatest ones. The sky-high dirty hotels. Sky-high price dirty hotels to the even viral video. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, I unplugged the TV during the Super Bowl. Let's first look into those dirty hotels. We started doing this. We started doing this years ago. Because I thought to myself, I just take Super Bowls off. I just take Super Bowl days off. But it'd be a special way to help you guys make sure you get all ready and all. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about all that, but we're talking about those sky-high prices. If you're watching a Super Bowl hotel, you may realize they may charge you extra for the Super Bowl. What if you realize that you are not paying, you pay, but then you have to suffer through nasty things, bugs, unclean sheets. Here's Lisa Guerrero. I don't even talk to you about it.
Ew.
Disgusting stains.
Are these blood stains?
And bugs, bugs, and more bugs.
And behind the coffee maker is a spider.
Ew.
That's what I found when I put on my rubber gloves and pulled back the covers at hotels near Santa Clara, charging sky-high rates for this year's Super Bowl.
A cigarette butt. And this is supposed to be a non-smoking room.
First up, this Super 8 motel charging a whopping $1,000 for a room during Super Bowl weekend. It looks pretty clean at first glance, but it doesn't take me long to uncover some pretty gross stuff.
I mean, there's hairs on the inside of the blanket.
And check out the stains in the bedside tables.
Yuck.
These dead bugs were on the bathroom
Nasty.
floor.
Ew.
And I found this canister of nitrous oxide, which some people inhale to get high.
Can I speak with a manager, please, up here in the room in 204?
I showed the manager what I found.
These obviously look less than clean, and there are somebody else's hairs. How often are these blankets washed?
The blankets are usually the whole set is washed when the customer checks out.
There's stains, but when I tried to show him everything else we found, he didn't want to chat.
We found drug paraphernalia in one of the rooms.
Can you please turn it off?
You're charging people $1,000 per room during the Super Bowl, aren't you?
No comments, ma'am.
But that was nothing compared to what we found at the Bella Vista Inn, which is charging a special Super Bowl rate of $350. The regular rate, $69.99.
Oh boy.
Look at all the dead bugs under the bed.
This looks like this hasn't been cleaned in years.
And in the bed,
There's an ant crawling inside this sheet.
in fact, I found ants crawling all over the room.
God.
See that? There's a bunch of them.
Maybe they came from this nasty leak, leaving a pool of water on the shelf.
Ew.
So I called the manager.
I wanted to point out something in your room.
She agrees that what we found is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But then she decides she'd rather not chat.
People spending hundreds of dollars during the Super Bowl.
You don't have my permission to have me on camera. The end.
She later wrote us an email saying, I am committed to addressing such issues for not just the Super Bowl, but for all guests staying here at our hotel.
But of all the places we inspected, nothing shocked us more than what we found right here at the Heritage Inn, just miles away from where the Super Bowl is set to be played.
They're charging $600. That's about 6 times the normal rate. Behind this table,
Ew,
Oh,
gross.
God.
Used Q-tips. Oh my god, are those toenails? Oh, toenail clippings.
but it gets worse.
Check this out. A huge shard of glass right behind the headboard.
And then there was this.
When we moved this piece of furniture, we found a syringe.
This place was so gross, I didn't even want to put the phone to my ear.
Hi, can the manager please come to room 115? I wanted to show you something. Look at this glass behind the bed.
She said they're remodeling the hotel.
We are working.
Yes, but people are going to be paying $600 for these rooms during the Super Bowl, and that's dangerous.
If they're remodeling, they sure have a lot of work to do.
Oh, toenail clippings.
If you guys haven't had that enough, here's the second one.
And mind you, I want to warn you right now, this is not a show for you to watch. This segment right here. I want your kids to leave the room right now because I do not want kids getting involved in this. And if you're going to be doing this, I want to share with you some tips right now before we begin here. Before we begin, let me give you some tips. Make sure the hotel is clean. Make sure of it. If it's dirty, you need to take pictures of it and call the manager up. If the manager says, let's put you to a different room because this one's dirty, blah, 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 blah. This one's dirty, so-and-so, then okay. If not, then they can ask for a refund. Here again, Lisa Guerrero.
It happens every high-profile event. Hotel prices go up, so it's no surprise that prices for even modest rooms near the site of Sunday's Super Bowl are more expensive than usual. But while you might blanch at the price of the room, you shouldn't scream because of what you find inside it. Lisa Guerrero checked into some rooms that might make you prefer to stay home and watch the whole thing on TV.
This is either a crime scene or somebody really cut themselves shaving.
Disgusting stains. And look at all those bugs.
Oh, that is gross. So where did we find all this nasty stuff? At hotels, charging sky-high rates for the Super Bowl here in Houston. I first checked into this Super 8, which typically charges $70 per night. What are your rates during Super Bowl?
For Super Bowl, it's $390 for one bed for one day.
$390?
Yeah.
I quickly found all kinds of problems. Would you want to sleep on that bed? I don't know what this stain is, but this is disgusting on the sheet that you're actually going to be touching with your body. And behind the bed? Look at all this trash behind the bed, including a condom wrapper. And what was this? It appears to be dried vomit on the back of this chair. Check out the smoke detector. I don't think a smoke detector wrapped in a plastic bag is going to work very well. When I called the manager, he didn't come into the room. Don't you want to know that there's a plastic bag over your smoke detector?
I have not put that.
But that was nothing compared to what I found at the in-town suites. On a regular night, it cost $60. But for the Super Bowl,
the fifth is going to be $299.99.
so $300. Okay. Plus tax. The room seemed fine at first, but upon closer inspection, this room is completely bug infested. In fact, we found dead bugs all around the carpet, and we even found one in the sheets. This one's still alive. Take it away! Take it away! This might explain why the room's bug infested. This air conditioning unit is broken and goes right through to the outside. I didn't even want to put the phone to my ear. Can I have somebody come up to room 303? I want to point out something. There's bugs all over the room. She didn't want to talk. There's bugs all over this room. You guys are going to be charging hundreds of dollars during the Super Bowl, and there's a bug infestation in this room. The most disgusting place was the Frontier Inn, which typically charges $70 a night. How much is the rate during Super Bowl week?
700 plus tax.
So 10 times as much?
Yes, ma'am. That is super.
However, the room was anything but super. Almost everywhere I looked, I found mold. Look at that. Check out the dishwasher. I finally get it open. Ew! There's standing water. This place is filthy. At least I have a room with a view. Maybe not. And there's a dead bug. And even though the pool is closed for the season, who wants to look at this? Check out this carpet. It's not even nailed to the ground. Come on in. It was time to show the manager. And I wanted to point out some mold problems you have.
Oh, I see.
See that? He took notes as I pointed out the myriad of gross stuff. Well, take this down. If you're charging hundreds of dollars for a Super Bowl room, at least make sure it's clean. That is so dumb. That is gross.
And here is the last video. Take a look, and then we're gonna take a break. And the whole reason I'm showing you these three things, I would show you the whole thing here, but we're not gonna have enough time for the Hey Jimmy Kimmel. Watch.
Bugs. Ugh. A syringe. This is so dangerous. And you don't want to know what I found lurking behind this bed. Ew! So where did we find all this nasty stuff? At hotels, charging hundreds of dollars for this year's Super Bowl right here in Minneapolis. I first went to this Days Inn, which typically charges $90 a night. The rate for the Super Bowl?
So each night is going to be $899.95 plus tax.
$900 a night. Wow. That's 3 times the cost for a standard room at the Trump International Hotel in Washington. For that price, these rooms better be perfect, and they look pretty clean at first. Ew, what's going on down here? But look at this disgusting trash under the refrigerator. And the toilet has a hand towel stuffed in it. Ew. Good luck flushing that toilet. And yep, that's a big pile of cigarette ashes in a non-smoking room. Next, I checked out this Super 8 motel, which is charging $550 for the Super Bowl weekend. Ugh. Stinks. Even before before I began my inspection, I could tell this place was gross.
Look at these cigarette burns on the blanket. Ugh. Ew, is that mold?
From what I saw, I doubt they've ever cleaned under or behind the beds.
So we pulled the mattress back. What is this? What is this? Like drugs or something? What is this? Ew! It's a lubricant. Ugh!
It was time to show the manager what we found.
You guys are renting these rooms for hundreds of dollars for the Super Bowl, and they're filthy.
I can't really answer anything because I just do maintenance.
But of all the hotels I've investigated over the years, this one is the worst. Welcome to the Metro Inn Motel, where their $450 Super Bowl rate can get you a room with this guy as a roommate.
Gross.
Ah! And if you think these hairs in the bed are gross, just wait.
Ooh, is this blood? This could be a crime scene. Not only is this room unclean, it's also unsafe. No smoke alarm.
Check out the door to my room.
This is so dangerous. I can't even close my door, much less lock it.
And look at this.
Oh my god, that is a syringe. Just out in the open, on the floor. There's no way that housekeeping could have missed this.
I tried to show the owner what we found.
We wanted to point out some big problems. Sir, there are some big problems here.
But he didn't want to talk.
Sir, your rooms are not only dirty, they're dangerous. This is the most disgusting and dangerous hotel I've ever seen. You're charging $450 for the Super Bowl? You shouldn't be charging $40 for the Super Bowl. Ah! Look at it.
That's enough. I think you probably get the picture here. But I'm not going to show you more because I don't want you guys being disgusted out. Next, it's the Hey Jimmy Kimmel, I unplugged the TV during the Super Bowl. Then later on, Zero Tolerance is Donor. Then still ahead, Zero Tolerance in our schools when we come back. Stay with us. If you just join us, it's Super Bowl. It's the Throwback Thursday edition of the Super Bowl edition of Give Me a Break. We look back at all of our favorite stories from the Super Bowl age. Now, who remembers the old YouTube challenge? Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, I unplugged the TV during the Super Bowl game. If you're not familiar with the challenge, it's to where you wait till the crucial moment of the game, then you unplug the TV and get everyone's reaction. 11 years ago, a lot of people uploaded the video under this title, and the best of the best has happened, so let me unplug him again. But we're not going to show that clip because I could get in big trouble. So what I'm going to do is do 3 to 4 clips. Here's this one. All right, here's the second one.
Pull down the 1 yard line so you can run out the entirety of the clock. Take a field goal late. Tough decision, tough call, but that was the strategy. Here on 2nd down and 3.
Here's this one. How about this one?
Are you serious? Really? Jeff? No, I'm trying to get us on TV. Omaha! You're fucking with me, right? You're fucking with me, right? Oh my god, where's the fucking remote? Babe?
Jimmy Kimmel told me to do it. F Jimmy. I would show you the thing, but ABC is going to block me if I show the clip.
Right here, dude. This is it.
This is it?
This is it.
A field goal to take the lead.
There it is. Field goal. See, I know my shit. A field goal. All it takes is to get the ball to the 30 on the other side. If it doesn't happen, you're done. Here we go.
On Sunday night.
Come on, Giants! Come on, rally it up
Here
in
we
this
go.
house! Rally it up! Let's go, Giants!
That's tough, though. At the 11-yard line.
Come on!
What the fuck?
Come on!
Turned off the thing. Give it to me.
I didn't. I don't even have the control.
Thing went off. Come on, give it to me. The control.
There! Hurry up! Hurry up! Dang it! Come on, hurry the heck up! Easy, everybody.
He got him down, or if you're Bill Belichick, you almost have to.
First and 10.
Bring it with you. The previous play. Complete check. First is incomplete. We'll review the play. Right.
Gotcha. Whoa. What did you just do, dude? What did you just do? Turn that back on.
That's fucked up. What the fuck?
Yeah, but you picked New England. It doesn't matter. You would have picked the Giants and they still would only get 38 points, which I would win. Tyler! Seriously! Tyler! What are you doing? They're not funny. You retard! You got a first down. Hey, you got a first down. They had taken the remote from him. He's pointing at it. I'm gonna kill him with it.
I'm gonna kill him with it. I'm gonna show you a few more, and we're gonna wrap it up. Then I got a challenge for you guys.
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Was there
What
one
happened?
control?
Cable again.
Doctor's on.
Oh my god.
Where's the remote?
Right by you?
Where's the other one?
Your mama had it.
TV turned off. Where's the other remote?
I don't know.
Who's sitting on it?
I'm not. How many remotes do you have? You should
I saw it over there somewhere.
That does. You should make.
2 more, we're gonna wrap it up.
They deserve every penny they get. They do, though. Don't you agree?
They're hard.
Yeah. Coolest guy ever is Eli Manning, besides me. Touchdown, baby! Yeah! Oh, no, put it back on, put it back on, no, put it back on. No, you're celebrating. No, you don't stop with the clock going. Don't do that to me.
Alright, here's our last one, and then we're going to wrap it up. Yeah, I'm gonna get copyrighted. I'm gonna get demonetized. I know. Last one, we're finished.
What did I tell you? I got it on the 2117.
Wave high.
Andy had 2117. Hit him. Come on, hit him. This is it.
Now you get the picture here, which means I have a challenge for you YouTubers out there. That's right. It's a challenge. You want to take the challenge? Okay. I challenge you to film the Super Bowl. Film the Super Bowl. Wait till a crucial moment in the game, and then unplug the TV. Upload the videos to YouTube and tell, hey Jonathan, I unplugged the TV during the Super Bowl game. This is inspired. So I hope that this happens. And on Sunday is a special Give Me a Break Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. The annual Super Bowl Give Me a Break. That's going to happen on Sunday. But coming tomorrow on Give Me a Break Friday, the more stupid in America. This woman says that she fired a bunch of teachers in the Washington, D.C. area. Now, the teachers' unions are upset that she fired a lot of people. The blog's upset, and even teachers unions. You're also going to meet a famous person who's funded by Bill Gates who does a lot of tutoring. That's on Friday. Next week, zero tolerances in our schools just don't make 0 cents. We're going to hear from the Young Turks and look at weapons being brought to schools. That's next week. That's it for the special Throwback Thursday Super Bowl edition. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Friday night. For all of us here at YouTube, Give Me a Break, have a happy Super Bowl Sunday if I don't see you, and have a great night.